Hey guys, what's up? My name is Hayden and welcome to my 2022 Blu-ray collection video. I did one of these about this time last year, but in the time since then, my collection has nearly doubled in size. So we're going to be doing a new one, and I'll probably make this a yearly thing, honestly, because honestly, this collection shows no signs of slowing down. So yeah, here's how we're going to do this. We're going to start off with the Criterion Blu-Rays. After that, we're going to go into the 4Ks, and after that, we're going to go into the TV shows. And then after that, we're gonna go into the regular Blu-rays. So, yeah, this is gonna be a pretty long video. I can already tell. So let's stop wasting time and get right into it. High and Low, Akira Kurosawa. These are organized by spine number and not alphabetically, which is why you're starting with an H. Yeah, haven't seen it yet. Got it for Christmas. Really looking forward to it. I don't think I've seen any Kurosawa films actually, though I would really like to. Last Temptation of Christ. I really enjoyed this movie. Martin Scorsese, Willem Dafoe, Harvey Keitel. Very interesting interpretation of the New Testament. It's not really, I think they put a warning at the beginning of the film. It's not attached to the gospel in any way. It's just it's a movie about Jesus not following the canon of the Bible. And I like stuff like that because, frankly, when you just straightforward adapt the Bible, it's really boring. So yeah, this has a lot of very interesting religious commentary in it, probably why the church condemned it. But yeah, I'd give this a solid 8 out of 10. Really enjoyed this movie. Great performance from Willem Dafoe. Next up, we have Ingmar Bergman's Scenes from a Marriage. Yeah, I have seen one cut of this movie. I have seen the theatrical cut. Have not seen the television cut. I'll get to it one day. But I really enjoyed the theatrical cut for what it was. Lots of really interesting dialogue. The whole fucking movie is dialogue. Yeah. Really great writing, really enjoyed it. 8 out of 10. Lahane, I don't know. I really am looking forward to seeing this movie. Haven't seen it yet, though. Yeah, looking forward to it. Let's see. You're going to be hearing that a lot when I'm going through these Criterions, because here we have The Human Condition, directed by Masaki Kobayashi. Haven't seen it, really looking forward to it. Again, Three Colors Trilogy. Haven't seen it. Really looking forward to it. A lot of these Criterions, at least a lot of the ones that I've bought lately, I sort of have just bought them to incentivize me watching them. And a lot of the time I end up not watching them because I've had this on my shelf for months and I haven't watched it yet. But I will someday, and when I do, I hope I enjoy it. 12 Angry Men. I think I've seen the first 30 minutes of this like 10 years ago. Otherwise, I haven't seen it. Got this for my birthday. Thank you, Alec. Really appreciate it. Yeah, can't wait to watch it. Three Outlaw Samurai, directed by, what's his name? Hideo Gosha. Again, haven't seen it. Looking forward to it. I love me some samurai movies. Being John Malkovich, Spike Jonze. This is a movie I have seen. I love this movie. I'd go so far as to say that it's probably within my top 10 movies of all time. Just absolutely hilarious, really bizarre. Yeah, I love it. Don't spoil yourself about anything. Go into this movie completely blind. Highly recommend it. This is a fucking 10 out of 10 movie right here. Eating Raoul. Haven't seen it. Really looking forward to it. My dad got it for me. Thank you. The Qatsi trilogy. I have seen one of these. I've seen Koyani Scotzi. Now, as for that film, I thought it was interesting the first time I saw it, but I didn't get a whole lot out of it. I think if I revisited it nowadays, it was like 3 years ago when I watched it. If I watched it now, I might get a little more out of it, which is why I bought the whole trilogy, because, I mean, I might as well watch the whole trilogy. Great music by Philip Glass as well. Astounding visuals. In the one that I've seen anyway. Astounding visuals, astounding music. Very much experimental in its approach. There's no dialogue or anything, but it's kind of a documentary. I guess it is a documentary, yeah, but through its visuals, it tells a story accompanied to the music. And honestly, the more that I thought about it, it grew on me, but from my recollection of when I saw it the first time, I wasn't really loving it. So yeah, I'll watch these very soon. Koyani Scotzi, I think I gave it a 7 the first time I saw it. Nowadays, I don't know. It's a mad, 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 mad world. Haven't seen it yet. Really looking forward to it. Still in the cellophane. Mulholland Drive, David Lynch. There's really not much for me to say about Mulholland Drive. I've seen this movie once, and I didn't really understand it at all, in fact. I thought what it was going for in terms of building mood and building tone, immaculate. Never seen a movie that does a better job at building tone than Mulholland Drive, I'm convinced. It just does such a great job of putting you on edge and sort of making you feel uneasy about the environment that you're in, which is hard for a movie to do. But when it does it right, it does it right. And this movie does it right. Again, I am completely unaware of the deeper themes in this, but I'll revisit it someday. And maybe then I can figure it out. Decalogue. This is very high up in my watch list, but the reason that I haven't gotten around to seeing it yet is because it's, I don't know, fucking nearly 10 hours long, and then it comes with another 3-hour movie. So, yeah, I'll definitely get to this. But when it comes to watching stuff that long, it takes me a while to get around to it. But Decalogue, directed by Nope. Not trying. Here's his name on screen right now. Stalker, Tarkovsky. I'm not a huge fan of this movie, and I know that that's kind of like sacrilegious to say at this point, but I don't know, man. I sat down and I watched the whole thing, and I just wasn't really digging it. Maybe if I watched it again in a few years, I'll change my mind, but yeah, Stalker, 6 out of 10. I understand that 99 out of 100 people think that that movie's a masterpiece. And I wish I could think it's a masterpiece, but I don't know. I wasn't really feeling it. Barry Lyndon. Where do we start with Barry Lyndon? This might be my favorite Kubrick film, although I'm not terribly sure. I'd have to watch it again. The only time that I've seen this movie was on VHS. It didn't look beautiful. Well, it looked beautiful, but it didn't look great. on a tiny ass TV in 4x3, but I'll check it. I'll check it out again soon. I'll probably watch this, pretty soon. But from what I remember, I really enjoyed it. Every performance is immaculate. Every shot looks like a painting. It's unreal the amount of just intensity that Kubrick approaches a project with. 10 out of 10. I love it. Twin Peaks: Fire Walk with Me. This was an interesting movie. I think in terms of how it ties the whole Twin Peaks story together, I think it's very interesting. However, outside of if I were watching the whole series again, which I don't know if I'm ever going to do that, but you didn't hear that from me. In the event that I watch the series again, that's probably the only time I would watch this again. I really bought this for the special features, and the special features are cool. But yeah. There you go. So, Twin Peaks: Fire Walk with Me, 7 out of 10. I really enjoyed it, but I don't know. I don't think there was really enough to keep me coming back, because from the start of the show, we know the story of Laura Palmer, and then this sort of just gives it more depth. And depth is great. I love me some depth, but maybe not in a 2.5-hour film. Funny Games. Michael Haneke? Is that how you pronounce it? Or is it Michael Haneke? Who knows? This movie's fine. I don't know. I didn't love it. I thought it dragged a little bit in the middle. There were a couple of scenes in this that are absolutely immaculate and really disturbing and made me feel something I didn't know I could feel. Very visceral experience. It's just not quite my thing. So... yeah, Funny Games, 6 out of 10. Got another David Lynch here. Blue Velvet. Oh boy, is that the third Lynch film? Yeah, I think it is. I love Blue Velvet. This is probably my favorite David Lynch movie. I haven't seen all of them, but of the ones that I've seen, this is by far my favorite. What a ride, bro. What an absolute masochistic ride. This movie kicks ass. You need to see this movie right now. If you haven't already, stop this video and go watch Blue Velvet right now. Incredible movie. I wish the deleted scenes were a part of the actual movie, because I could have watched this for hours more than the 2-hour runtime that it has. yeah, great movie. Probably, I think I have it as an 8 on Letterboxd, but I'd probably change that to a 10. Yeah, I think that movie's a 10. War and Peace. Haven't seen it yet. Really looking forward to it. Oh my god, it is very, very long. Don't know when I'll get to this, but I will. I own it, so yeah. 1984, same thing. Haven't seen it yet. Really looking forward to it. Got this for my birthday. Yeah, I've read the book. I read the book when I was in, like, 8th grade. And as for the movie, I don't know. I think I watched the first 5 minutes of it on Prime Video when I was, like, 13, and then I fell asleep. But, yeah, I'll check this out one day. The Great Escape, Steve McQueen. Good old, what's the director? Who directed? John Sturges. John Sturges. Haven't seen anything else he's made, but I enjoyed The Great Escape for what it was. I think it's definitely over-sensationalizing a lot of things. It is a war movie at the end of the day. The first 2 hours are really entertaining. The last hour kind of falls off. Yeah, check it out. 7 out of 10? 7? 6? 8? 7, closer to a 6 than an 8. Marriage Story, probably my favorite film of 2019. 2019 was such a fucking amazing year for movies that it kind of just keeps hopping back and forth between which one I like the most. But probably Marriage Story. This movie blew me away. I absolutely loved it. I continue to love it. I've seen it so many times. Yes, absolutely incredible movie. Adam Driver gives the performance of a career-defining performance. Well, was his performance in Annette better? I don't know. I feel like it's kind of hard to apply a strict scale to something like that. I don't know. He's hot. Scarlett Johansson does a great job in this movie, too. As Laura Dern. Oh my god. What a queen. She does a great job in this movie as well. Yeah, Marriage Story, 10 out of 10 movie right there. The Irishman, another Martin Scorsese film. This is what I mean by, like, 2019 was such an amazing year for movies. The last 4 movies that we have here all came out in 2019, and they're all phenomenal. But yeah, The Irishman was a really great movie. I really enjoyed it. Definitely a lot slower and definitely more melancholy than most gangster movies that I can think of. It goes the same approach as Once Upon a Time in America does, where it's not trying to glorify the idea of being in the mob in any way. It's just showing you what it was like. And it kind of fucking sucks. Like, you're kind of a terrible person, you know? Like, Frank Sheeran in this movie, really a terrible person. But yeah, The Irishman, between a 9 or a 10. Not sure which one. Yeah, 2019 was a phenomenal year for movies. Case in point with Parasite. Nah, I think this is going to have to stay in the #1 spot for the favorite movie. Everything else is a tie for second. This movie kicks ass, man. This movie kicks so much ass. If you haven't seen it, I don't know how you haven't, because it was literally like the biggest thing in the world. This movie made history. So yeah, if you haven't seen this yet, check it out. Really, really phenomenal movie. Bong Joon-ho, you're a goddamn master. Give me a kiss. 10 out of 10. Uncut Gems. This is the last film of the Criterions. Yeah, really great movie. Really, really great movie. This, I think this is this the 4K one? Yeah, it is. So, yeah, Criterion started doing 4K Blu-rays. This set is absolutely gorgeous. If I could go through every single one of these and just show you everything, I would, but then this video would be so much longer than it's already going to be. Uncut Gems, best performance from Adam Sandler I've ever seen. I haven't seen Punch Drunk Love, and I know some people say that that's his best, while other people say that this is his best. But since I haven't seen the other one, I'm going to go ahead and say that this is the best Adam Sandler performance that I've seen. I will check out Punch Drunk Love eventually, though. Pretty soon. Hopefully. I really want to see it. Licorice Pizza is coming out. I'm seeing that. That's going to be fun. But yeah, Uncut Gems. 10 out of 10 movie, honestly. Such great utilization of music and camera movements and everything to create the most stressful environment possible. You know, nothing but like really close shots of people, lots of overlapping dialogue. Amazing. This movie's amazing. It makes you feel something. And I love movies that make me feel something. 10 out of 10. And that's it for the Criterions, ladies and gentlemen. Not as many as I would like to have, but still a good few. So now we are going to move on to the 4Ks. That'll probably take a bit longer. All right, welcome back, everybody. Here we have the 4K Blu-rays. Let's get right into them. Starting off with 2001: A Space Odyssey. Now, there's nothing to even be said about this movie anymore. It's kind of been lauded as a masterpiece for the past, I don't know, 54 years. So, yeah, it's a great movie. It's a 10 out of 10 movie, but you already knew that, so. 1917. Nowhere near as good as the previous film. In fact, this movie actually gets quite boring if you watch it more than once. But it looks very lovely in 4K. And that's about all I can say about it. So, 1917, it's fine. 6 out of 10. Solid 6 out of 10 on that one. Apocalypse Now, the big old box set. I love this set. I've only seen the theatrical cut, and I really like the theatrical cut, and I feel like if it were any longer, it wouldn't be as good. I'm still going to check out the other two cuts someday. It's just not a very high priority. So yeah, Apocalypse Now, solid 8 or 9 out of 10 movie on that one, for the theatrical cut, that is. Meanwhile, we have Aquaman. I don't even know why I own this. I could probably sell this. Like, am I ever gonna watch this? Do you think? What do you think? I'll keep it anyway. It's silly. It's a dumbass movie. It's really fucking stupid. But, it's also really funny. So, yeah. Hilarious movie. Completely off the rails. I cannot believe that James Wan has a career when he makes these wild-ass movies. The Avengers. Oh, I didn't rate Aquaman. But then again, there's really no way for me to objectively rate it because, like, well, in my mind, it's like a 4 out of 10, but in my heart, it's a 10 out of 10. You know what I mean? So, yeah. The Avengers. The first one. I bought this just because it was really cheap at a secondhand store. This was $10. When on Amazon, it's like $30. So, I was just like, yeah, you know what? I'll pick it up. Why not? And now I own it. It's fine. It's a good movie. You've probably seen it. Yeah, me and Marvel movies aren't on speaking terms right now. Avengers: Infinity War, good movie. Avengers: Endgame, not as good, but it's fine. Bad Times at the El Royale, pretty good movie. Feels like it was trying to rip off Quentin Tarantino. In a major way, but it did a decent job at that. So, yeah, I think the second Chris Hemsworth comes in, the movie is not as good, and I think it becomes pretty boring for the remainder of it, because his character just isn't interesting. It kind of comes out of left field in the middle of the movie. If it was just about the hotel, then that'd be neat. I didn't really need all the cult stuff at the end, but otherwise, pretty good movie. I'll give it 7 out of 10. Blade Runner 2049, my favorite movie of 2017. This movie rocks hard. It really fucks. It fucks. It rocks and it fucks and it sucks. Great movie. 10 out of 10. You need to check it out. Denis Villeneuve is so talented. It's kind of gross how talented he is, honestly. The Bridge on the River Kwai. Pretty good movie. It's a classic, of course. This was the first 4K Blu-ray I ever bought, because I think this was like the only way to get it on physical media that was still in print. But pretty good movie. It doesn't look great in 4K. I don't know if that's because it just wasn't a very good transfer, or if the movie was made to look like that. I don't know. But as for the movie, I'll give it a solid 8 out of 10. I'm going to have to rewatch that someday. Casino. Haven't seen it yet. In fact, in the last Blu-ray Collection video, I still hadn't seen it, and it's been a year. You gotta give me a break, guys. You know, I'll watch this someday. I just don't have any particular wanting to ever. Which brings us to the question, why the fuck did I buy this? I don't know. because I wanted to watch it when I bought it, and then it went on the shelf, and I never thought about it again. I'll see it someday. A Clockwork Orange, really great movie. I haven't seen this on 4K yet, but I really want to. Great movie, probably a solid 10 out of 10 from me. Every Kubrick film is a 10, or at least the ones that I've seen. Yeah, amazing film. Check it out. Not for the faint of heart. Cloverfield. This movie hasn't aged terribly well, but overall, it's fine. It's pretty spooky. I'll admit, the monster really gets to you sometimes. I have megalophobia. Like, I can't even stand next to a tall building without, like, hyperventilating. So, this was really... This did numbers on me the first time I saw it. 6 out of 10. Why not? The Color Out of Space. This I am gonna sell, actually. We'll put you over there. Because I don't fucking need that anymore. It's not a great movie. It's not even a good movie. It's completely mediocre. It doesn't do anything special, but it doesn't do anything terribly offensive either. I don't know. I'm never gonna watch it again. It's not good. Fucking 5 out of 10. Deadpool. Again, I don't think I'm ever gonna watch this again either. But I might hold on to it for a little bit anyway. Man, that Ryan Reynolds, he's just such a talented actor, isn't he? All right, we got to push these all the way over here. Deadpool 2, the super duper fucking cut. Yeah, super duper fucking cut. Okay, the unrated cut is not as good as the theatrical cut. They replaced some jokes that were really funny in the theatrical cut with jokes that were nowhere near as funny. And they also replaced a couple of the songs, because I guess the extended scenes couldn't fit the songs, including that acoustic version of Take On Me that I really like. So yeah, fuck the extended cut of this movie. The theatrical cut's fine. I haven't seen it in like a couple years, but then again, nothing's really bringing me back to it. So from my knowledge, Deadpool 2 is okay. I think it's better than the first, but I'd have to rewatch both of them to make a positive assertion on that. That being said, I don't want to watch either of them, so. Dr. Sleep. Pretty good. Yeah, pretty decent. This one also has an extended cut. Every movie ever has a fucking extended cut, and I have no idea why. Yeah, I mean, it was decent. The theatrical cut is nowhere near as good as the director's cut. The director's cut adds a lot of really good shit. But the one thing that it adds that makes the movie worse is a chapter system. You don't need a fucking chapter system in your movie if there wasn't one to begin with. Like, why'd you put that in there? Because then there's just a title card in my face telling me, hey, new chapter. Like, cool, dude. I don't give a shit. Yeah, fuck this movie. 0 out of 10. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, the director's cut's pretty good, except for that one nitpick. But, 7. The Doors. I talked about this in a video. I'll put it in the... Is it that corner? I think it's that corner. This corner. I'll put it up in this corner, so you can go check that out if you want. Yeah, it's all right. I mean, for someone who has seen 2 Oliver Stone movies, this one's probably my favorite. I really don't like Platoon. I honestly just hate Platoon. I think it's really boring and annoying and pro-war. So, you know, not really for me. But The Doors is alright. Probably not at all accurate to what really happened. But there's some pretty good sequences in there. David Lynch's Dune. This is the Arrow Video 4K set. Beautiful set, I must say. Probably this, if I had never heard anything about the David Lynch Dune, this probably would convince me that it's a good movie. And then I would buy it and be proven wrong. Yeah, as for the movie, probably a 2 out of 10. This it sucks, but this Arrow set is gorgeous, and I highly recommend picking it up if you so desire. Yeah, lovely set. As for the movie sucks, box set, give it a 10 out of 10. Okay. What stack am I on? Here we go. Gemini Man on 4K. I only bought this because I wanted to see what it looked like with high frame rate. And now that I know, I think I'm going to sell it. We'll throw you in the sell pile. Glass. This was a weird movie. I like it. I honestly like it. I don't know. It's not really trying to be anything that special. It's just trying to be an M. Night Shyamalan comic booky type movie, and in that respect, it really works. I think this movie is a lot of fun. Of the 2 times that I've seen it, that is, granted, I haven't seen this in maybe a year, so maybe I should check it out again. But as it stands, I think this is a pretty entertaining movie. 6 out of 10. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Probably one of the best movies ever made. I mean, is that? I don't know if that's a contest, but yeah, really great movie. Clint Eastwood, he sure is. Ugh. Whew. Anyway, 10 out of 10. Amazing movie. Probably my favorite Western. The Green Knight, my favorite movie of 2021. This movie is awesome. I really want to watch it again, but I absolutely loved this shit. Dev Patel gives such a good performance, and yeah, just such an amazing blending of style and tone and genre in a way that I don't think I've ever seen before. Yeah, fantastic movie. Really, really interesting. Can't wait to watch it again. 10 out of 10. Looks amazing in 4K as well. The Hobbit trilogy. Yeah, they're not amazing. They're quite bad, actually. The third one is absolute dog shit. Like, completely incomprehensible dumpster fire. The first one's alright, though. And then the second one, I don't even remember anything about the second one. So, yeah. Probably not gonna watch those again for a while. But if I had to rate them individually, I'll give the first one a 5. I'll give the second one a 2. And the third one a 1. That's probably a 1 out of 10 movie for me, honestly. Inception. Now this is one hell of a movie. This movie rocks, dude. It's pretty cool. I saw this in the theater right before Tenet came out last year. And pandemic movie theater experiences are really strange. really, really strange. In August of 2020, we go in there and we sit down and we have to keep our masks on the whole time. And it was just so surreal having not been in a theater for so many months and then coming back into this COVID-ized movie theater. I don't know. It was strange for me anyway. It felt strange. And it was doubly strange seeing Tenet like a month later because it was like a new movie. But yeah, this is a solid 9 to 10 out of 10 movie. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Christopher Nolan, for making a good movie for once. Interstellar. It's not great. It's in terms of its empty platitudes and philosophy, I think it's on the same level as the Matrix sequels, but in terms of visuals, it's amazing. The visual effects, I mean, they're borderline. I can't even they're indistinguishable from real life. The visual effects in this movie are incredible, and they're age defying, but otherwise, it's just kind of dumb. It's just kind of dumb. It Chapter 2. This is not just kind of dumb. This is really dumb. This movie's fucking stupid. And I love it for that. I've seen this more times than I think any other movie in my entire life. This is my ultimate guilty pleasure movie, and I don't even know why, because it fucking sucks. It's horrible. But I just keep coming back to it, man. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. And there's a director's commentary that I still haven't listened to that I really want to listen to. Yeah. Dog shit movie, but check it out. You won't regret it. That goes up there. What do we got here? John Wick, as well as John Wick Chapter 2, as well as oh shit. Okay. John Wick Chapter 3. Yeah, they're pretty solid action movies. I think the dedication to the realism in terms of how people handle guns and you know, the training that goes into that really makes for incredibly immersive and grounded action, which looks really great on film. So yeah, pretty good action movies. I'm probably gonna see the fourth one whenever that comes out. Justice League, the theatrical cut, Justice League, if you will. I bought this right before the Snyder Cut came out, just in case they tried to erase history and act like the Snyder Cut was the original cut, and this never happened. Like I thought they were going to George Lucas it, but I don't think they did. So, yeah. Also, I love the deceptive marketing on this Blu-ray. So there's a sticker there. Here, I'll hold it up. Includes bonus scenes not seen in theaters. So by the time this movie came out on Blu-ray, there was already, like, the Snyder Cut campaign was already, like, in full swing. So it's so funny that they stick this sticker on here. Includes bonus footage not seen in theaters. People are like, oh my god, is that the Snyder Cut? Is that the fucking Snyder Cut? And then they buy the Blu-ray, and no, there's like 3 deleted scenes or some shit. And none of them are very good. Yeah, this movie sucks. It's awful. That's a solid 1 out of 10 right there. Zack Snyder's Justice League. It's better than the theatrical cut, but at the same time, what is that really saying? I'm not sure. I recorded an hour and 20-minute podcast on this movie, so if you want to hear my really in-depth thoughts on it, it's right there. But for my bottom line, it's fine. It's not, it's not my cup of tea. I don't like superhero movies, really. Used to, a whole lot, but Knives Out. This movie was really, really cool and really fun, and I really liked it. Nah, but yeah, I really like this movie. I haven't seen it in a while, but yeah, does a lot of really great riffing on classic murder mysteries. Definitely subverted my expectations. What can I say? One of the better films to come out in 2019. The Lego Movie. Really great. I'll never stop loving this movie. I'm probably never going to sell this as long as I live because I love the Lego Movie so much. I saw it in theaters when I was really young. I would have been 11 when that movie came out. No, I would have been 10, about to turn 11 when this movie came out. And ever since then, I've watched it at least twice a year. It's hilarious. Amazing. One of the better family movies out there, honestly. Yeah, gotta love the Lego Movie. The Lord of the Rings trilogy, 4K. Me and a couple of friends got together and marathoned the whole trilogy, extended trilogy, in one sitting a few days ago. And it was exhausting. It was a nightmare. We started around like 4 or 5 p.m. and we ended around 7:30 to 8. Yeah, that's a nightmare. If you haven't seen these movies before, I wouldn't recommend doing that because that's just exhausting. But if you have, that's really fun. Well, doubly exhausting. But yeah, Lord of the Rings, there's nothing for me to even say about it. It's been talked about to absolute death. But they're great. They're some of my favorite movies ever made. So, don't judge me on that one. Come on now. Mission Impossible Fallout. The best Mission Impossible movie out of the 2 that I've seen. I've seen this one and I've seen the first one. And frankly, I don't know if I need to watch any more of them. This movie's cool. I watch it every once in a while. I put it on to watch the what do you call it? Skydiving scene. And then I promptly shut it off and put it back on the shelf. Nah, it's a fine movie. It's a 7 out of 10, I'd say. The Planet of the Apes trilogy, the new one. Yeah, they're pretty good, actually. The first one, in hindsight, is definitely the weakest of the 3. Not a far cry from bad. But the second and third are really great. They're definitely formulaic and they're definitely predictable, but at the same time, what the fuck do you expect out of a goddamn Planet of the Apes movie, you fucking moron? Like, come on now. You're not actually a moron. I'm sorry. I'll make it up to you. Great movies. Ready Player One. Not a great movie. I'm not going to talk about it. In fact, I'm going to sell that. Because I'm never going to watch it again. Requiem for a Dream. I don't think I've seen this. I could have swore that I have. Maybe when I was like substantially younger. Young enough to where I probably shouldn't have been watching it. But yeah, I bought this on 4K because I want to see it. I want to see it again. See if I even have seen it. That's more like what I want to do. What do we have here? Rocket Man. Phenomenal movie. I talk about it in my Rock Biopics video. Same video as The Doors, which you can check out right there. It's already there. Yeah, pretty good movie. I love Elton John. He is such a beautiful man. 10 out of 10. Saving Private Ryan. I haven't seen it all the way through since I was a child. Yeah. From what I remember, it's a war movie, so there you go. There's always a delicate balance to walk with war movies because you can never really tell if it's anti-war or pro-war. Granted, that doesn't mean anything with war movies most of the time, but you know, this movie's okay. I mean, it does say the last great war on the back. In the last great invasion of the last great war, the greatest danger for 8 men was saving 1. Wow. These guys were in World War II. Isn't that cool? Or was it World War I? I don't remember. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Hilarious movie. This is another one of those guilty pleasures where no matter how many times I see it, I'm never going to get tired of it. I've seen this movie hundreds of times, ever since I was 8. That's when I first found this movie. At the library. I rented it from the library, and I loved it, and it's awesome. And I continue to love it to this day. Looks astonishing in 4K. Highly recommend. I don't even think I could rate it. The Shining. It's Stanley Kubrick, so you already know that it's basically great. And it is great. There are some people who think this movie is boring, from what I've heard, and I disagree. I think this movie is very good. In fact, I would say that this movie is a 10 out of 10. It falls back into that category that I was talking about earlier when I was talking about Mulholland Drive, where its ability to build tone across a long period of time is absolutely unparalleled to anything else I've ever seen. It is so up. It's up, dude. This movie is up. Yeah, great film. 10 out of 10. I watch it every Halloween. Shrek! 20th anniversary edition. This movie's not that old. Shit. Really great movie, but I I have kind of a weird experience with the 4K cut because I saw this movie probably 150 times between the ages of 3 and 9 at my grandma's house on VHS, the big box VHS, and yeah, on VHS this movie looks very different to how it does in 4K. So if you're like me and you haven't seen this movie since you were a child, watch it in 4K and prepare to be like almost kind of disturbed. Like, there's so much definition in the faces of characters that like it feels way more Uncanny Valley than it ever did. Yeah, very strange experience actually, but still a very funny and very memorable movie. I love Shrek. The 10 Commandments. I really don't know what to think about this movie. I watched the whole thing. This thing's fucking 4 hours long. And it's not the most fun 4 hours I've ever had. That being said, there is some spectacle in this movie that is absolutely fucking crazy and continues to be jaw-dropping to this day, even though this came out, 60 years ago? 70 years ago? Yeah, old as hell, but still quite fascinating. The visual effects work in it is astounding. The number of extras, there's like 15,000 extras in this movie. Absolutely insane. The back says it's the greatest epic of all time, and honestly, I'd have to agree in that it's the most epicest movie of all time, but I don't think it's the greatest epic of all time. 6 out of 10. Tenet. I made a video about this. Spoiler alert, it's bad. It's a fine movie. It's alright. Just get off my back. It's whatever. This movie makes no fucking sense, and it's not trying to, and it doesn't want you to follow it at all, I guess, and it doesn't have a plot. Christopher Nolan invented a brand new type of story where you literally have to see it twice to even understand what's going on, and even then, you know, you really don't. It's so needlessly complex, and there's, yeah, I don't know. 5 out of 10. Watch my video on it. Whiplash. Probably my second favorite film of 2014. The first of which is somewhere over there. Yeah, really, really awesome movie. Really stressful movie. Amazing performance from J.K. Simmons. What can I say? That dude can fucking act. He knows how to act. He's kind of underrated. Yeah, love that man. I love me some Damien Chazelle. I still haven't seen First Man. And I feel like on both my last Blu-ray collection video and on my top 10 films list podcast, someone was telling me to watch First Man because I haven't seen First Man, but I've seen other Damien Chazelle movies. And I still haven't, but I'll get to it eventually. I do want to see it. That's a 10 out of 10 right there. Zombieland. I saw it when I was a kid. I have seen it since then. It's not as entertaining as it was when I was a kid. However, it's still pretty funny. 7 out of 10 on that one. What do we got here? Finally, The Witch, or The Vavitch. I put it under W. Maybe I should put it under V. I'm not sure. Someone correct me. I simply don't know. Yeah, I've only seen it once, but that one time was pretty cool. I enjoyed this movie. I thought it was fittingly spooky. I thought the Old English dialect and accents were incomprehensible, intentionally so, and yeah, pretty good movie. I'll watch it again someday. It's got some demons. There's demons in it, boys. Demons. And that's it for the 4Ks. So I guess that means we got TV shows, which are down there. And then we can finally move on to the fucking namesake of the video, the Blu-rays. Look at that, we're just flying through this. This section is going to be substantially shorter, and then we'll break for an intermission. So, here we have Mike Judge's Beavis and Butthead, the complete collection. This isn't the complete collection. This is not every single episode of the show. This is Mike Judge's complete episodes of the show. It's, what the episodes that he picked. It's just all the shorts that he picked. As far as I know, a lot of the original Beavis and Butthead is just gone. So that's kind of upsetting. But yeah, Beavis and Butthead, hilarious show. Sitting down, watching all the music videos lately with my dad. Really, really funny stuff. Very immature stuff, but you gotta love it. You gotta love it. And this comes with Do America, which I think that got a Blu-ray release, didn't it? If it did, I'm gonna have to pick it up because that was stuck on DVD for so long, and I was so mad about it. But Beavis and Butthead, hilarious show. Next up, we have Mr. Robot, the complete series, my favorite television series of all time. This shit is remarkable. This does stuff that I've never seen any piece of media do ever. Granted, it also does one thing in particular that I've seen quite a few things do, and when it happened, I nearly fucking screamed. But that being said, everything else about this show is damn near perfect. I'm full Death Camp Mr. Robot, and I will never not be. Amazing show. Amazing show. Bro, have you seen Mr. Robot? Have you seen Mr. Robot, bro? Yeah. I'm not even going to say anything about it. Just watch it for yourself. I really want to make a video about that one. Twin Peaks. I made a video, not so much about Twin Peaks, but a minor part of Twin Peaks history. Great show. I love this show. Season 3 was impeccable. It was remarkable. Season 1 was also fucking remarkable. Season 2... What? Well, 2/3 of a great show here. The midsection is way too long and not good. But yeah, I don't think I could rate TV shows just because there's way too much, but pretty good show. And finally, for the TV shows, we have The Sopranos, the complete series. Shout out to my aunt and uncle for getting me this for Christmas. This is a gorgeous set, one that I've wanted for so long, but I just never had the money to get, because it's fucking massive. Look at that. That's huge. Amazing show. I've seen up to season 6, part 1. I saw the first half of season 6, and then for whatever reason, I just never got around to watching the second half. But upon getting this gift set, I've started the series over from the very beginning, and I'm watching it again. So yeah, The Sopranos. There's not much to say about it. It's been talked about to death for 20 years. It's one of the pioneers of the golden age of television. Yeah, check it out. Great show. Now streaming on HBO Max. Okay, so that is the whole of this first shelf done. Which now leaves us with all the Blu-ray movies, which will probably take a very long time. We'll get to these in a second, but for now, I'm gonna go stretch my legs and touch some grass. Here's a word from our sponsor. Hi everybody, welcome to part 2. The first half of this video that you just saw was shot a little less than 2 months ago, but in order to maintain the illusion that this was all done in one big stretch, I haven't showered since then. So let's go ahead and get started with the Blu-rays. First off, we have the Critters Collection. This is from Scream Factory. In fact, all 3 of these box sets that I'm about to talk about are from Scream Factory. I haven't seen these yet. I'm looking forward to seeing them. I bought these just because they looked really funny, and apparently one of these is the home of the first theatrical appearance of Leonardo DiCaprio, which is weird. I wouldn't have expected the Critters Collection, but, you know, yeah, looking forward to them. Next up, we have the Fly Collection. Again, haven't seen any of these yet, but really looking forward to them. I'm probably going to do a big marathon of these come Halloween time, maybe do a video about them or a podcast. I don't know, but the Fly, really looking forward to it. And then we have this fat-ass Friday the 13th set, also from Scream Factory. I haven't seen all of these. In fact, let's look through them here. I have seen the first, the third, the fourth, Jason Goes to Hell, Jason X, Freddy vs. Jason, and the really awful remake. So, out of all of these, I have not seen most of them. But again, probably going to marathon all these in a few months. Really looking forward to the rest of them. I've heard that they are great cheese. And now we can get started with the core collection here. Starting off, we have 12 Monkeys, Terry Gilliam. Haven't seen it yet. I love Terry Gilliam, though. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas and Time Bandits are probably 2 of my favorite movies. So I'm really looking forward to this. Got this at a secondhand store in Omaha, Nebraska. Shout out to the Emporium for that one. That's a lovely place. Check that out if you're ever in Omaha. It's in Old Market. Lovely store. Next up, we have Alien with one of these really great Deadpool slipcovers. So this is a promotional thing that they did around the release of Deadpool 2, I think it was, where they basically just took a bunch of 20th Century Fox movies and gave them Deadpool-oriented slipcovers. And I have a few of those in this collection because they were really cheap. I was planning on collecting all of the Deadpool slipcovers, but I sort of lost steam, and I've sold a few of them since then. In terms of the actual movie, I think it's really good. I've seen the theatrical cut. I have not seen the director's cut. And yeah, it's a pretty solid horror movie. However, I don't know if it's the magnum opus that it's held up to be. There are a few moments in this that are very, very effective, but it starts way too slowly and builds up steam even slower to the point where, not gonna lie, I kind of start to wane in terms of interest at a certain point. But I don't know, I'll watch it again someday. Let's see, next up we have Aliens in the Attic. I have a very layered and complex history with this film. I think I saw this in theaters. This is one of the first movies that I actually remember seeing in theaters, which is interesting. Yeah, not very good. It's kind of trash. Probably give it, I don't know, 3 out of... I completely forgot to even talk about Alien as a movie. Really good movie. I enjoy Alien. Here, let's hold this back up. We'll cut around it. Alvin and the Chipmunks. You know, this is another one of those movies that I just grew up with. It was a core part of my childhood. And I got it for like 99 cents at a Goodwill. So, you know, pretty good deal on that one. I'm not going to try and rate it just because, I don't know, there's no way for me to objectively rate a movie that I grew up with, I don't think, except for Aliens in the Attic, because that movie is objectively terrible. American History X. Haven't seen it yet. Really looking forward to it. Ants. Oh man, the first 3D animated DreamWorks film. I like this movie way more than everyone else does. Not because it's any good necessarily, but just because, I don't know. Again, another movie that was essential to my childhood. We had this on VHS. I watched the absolute hell out of it, and I think that was purely because it's a lot more adult than a lot of animated like kids movies that you would find nowadays. But even back in the 90s when it came out, there's a lot of like foul language and very risque jokes that just do not fly in a kids movie. I don't know. You kind of have to see it for yourself to believe it or see what I'm talking about, because there's no real way for me to articulate my thoughts on that or elaborate on that, purely because I haven't seen this in a while. But yeah, Ants, check it out. You will probably hate it. Here we have another copy of The Avengers. This is a Best Buy Steelbook, I believe, and I guess I can sell this now because I have it in 4K. I don't care that much about the Steelbook. Baby Driver. Oh yeah, baby. Oh baby. This might be my favorite Edgar Wright film of the ones that I've seen. I don't know. I do really enjoy Scott Pilgrim. That movie's always just been incredible to me. But Baby Driver, holy shit, dude. If you haven't seen this movie, you need to stop watching this video and go watch it right now. Incredible use of music. The licensed music in the movie actually has a point, which is something that can't be said for most any movie. Really enjoyed this. I'd give this probably a 10 out of 10. Next up, we have the Back to the Future trilogy Steelbook. I really need to get the 4K set of these. As much as I love this Steelbook, it is beautiful. I've heard the 4K scans of the trilogy are especially good. Back to the Future trilogy, all of them are 10 out of 10s in my heart. But if I had to rate them on an objective level, the first one, that's a definite like 8 or 9 out of 10. Second one, nowhere near as good. That's probably like a 6. And then the third one, I don't know, man. The third one's good in its own way. You know what I mean? Back to the Future trilogy. You've seen it. I don't need to talk about it. Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice Ultimate Edition. I am going to sell this because I'm never going to watch it again. Awful movie. Battlefield Earth. Speaking of awful movies, I am so glad that a Blu-ray exists for this movie, because in the US, there was not a Blu-ray for it for the longest time. And now that there is, I am so just over the moon with joy. Yeah, this has a reputation for being one of the worst movies ever made, and it kind of deserves it. I was planning on making a video about Battlefield Earth at some point, but I was trying to reread the book, and that just, it wasn't going very well, because it's a big book. It's a pretty big book, and while you read it, you just can't get the fact that the founder of Scientology wrote it. I don't know why. I know you should separate the art from the artist, but when it comes to Scientology, you just can't really. Yeah, horrible movie, 1 out of 10. Birdman, my second favorite movie of all time. The first one, actually, my first favorite movie of all time, I don't even fucking own. It's Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. But Birdman, an absolutely incredible movie that you 100% need to see. If you haven't already. Yeah, just an absolutely brilliant piece of filmmaking. Very abstract in its approach, not very literal, but there is so much to decipher from it, so much subtext, and really compelling characters, writing. The cinematography is absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, I cannot recommend this movie enough. It is without flaws in my eyes. 10 out of 10. Next up, we have Blade Runner, The Final Cut. I should probably get the 4K of this. Yeah, it's fine. I like Blade Runner 2049 more, but yeah, pretty good movie, pretty solid movie. I've only seen The Final Cut. I don't know how many cuts there are. I think there's 3. But I haven't seen either of those because they're kind of hard to find. So yeah, but The Final Cut, pretty good. I enjoyed it. I don't know if it's really my thing. Sci-fi noir, it's a very hit or miss genre, and I think 2049 hit the nail on the head way better than this. Not to say that this completely missed its mark. It's still revolutionary for the sci-fi genre in so many ways, and I can recognize that. However, I just don't know how likely it is that I'll be jumping to watch this again. 7 out of 10. Pretty good movie. Harrison Ford does a great job. Boogie Nights. Oh my god. Boogie Nights. Okay. My second favorite third favorite Paul Thomas Anderson film. Probably got to be one of my favorite directors. I absolutely adore him and his movies. I haven't seen Licorice Pizza. Wow. That's kind of fucked up. The fact that I haven't seen that. I was gonna see it, and then I just didn't. But yeah, Boogie Nights. Awesome movie. Really great characters, really great writing. One of the best character dramas that I've ever seen, apart from the 2 other Paul Thomas Anderson movies that I put above this one. Yeah, a must watch. Not for those who are not sex positive, because there's a lot of it in this movie. 10 out of 10 right there. Boyhood. It took 12 years to make. I haven't seen this in a really long time, but I feel like if I watched it again, I wouldn't like it nearly as much. I will watch it again someday, but as of now, the memory of it, there isn't a memory of it. So far as I can tell, nothing really happened in this movie. So if I had to rate it, that's 7 out of 10. Yeah, I'm comfortable with that. The Breakfast Club. I also need to get the Criterion of this. Wow. Because when did that Criterion? It came out a while ago. Yeah, I don't know. Great movie. It's a classic. I don't even need to talk about it. You've seen it like 20 times. What is that? That's an 8 out of 10 right there. I love me some John Hughes. Cats. Wow. How'd that get in there? Huh. This movie fucking sucks. I made a video about it like 3 years ago if you want to check it out. It's not a great video. In fact, I was planning on doing another video about it just now to see if my thoughts have changed, because they definitely have. This movie's garbage, but at the same time, it's kind of a masterpiece. I love it, and nothing will ever change that. It's amazing to watch like $100 million just get set on fire. It's fascinating, and this movie is one of the best case studies of that, right next to The Matrix 4. Castaway, pretty good. Not as good as Forrest Gump in terms of the Tom Hanks, Robert Zemeckis crossovers. There's more than those two. Did Zemeckis do Captain Phillips? You know, I don't remember. But at the same time, it doesn't matter. Castaway, pretty good movie. I need to watch it again. But I remember enjoying it. Tom Hanks does a very good job, and I guess he kind of had to, considering that he was the only person in the movie for like 70% of it. Yeah, really great film. Highly recommend you check it out. 8 out of 10. Climax. Oh baby, where to begin with Climax? I love this film. This is the UK Blu-ray, Arrow Video release, because the US release like sucks. It's terrible. I have a copy of it. So, yeah, it's over here. Hold up. Okay, so if we're comparing the two versions, here we have the UK Blu-ray, Arrow Video release. On the back here, shit tons of special features, reversible cover art. I mean, so much effort went into this set. And then we have the American release here, and I'm pretty sure it's a bootleg. Like, the case, it doesn't have the Blu-ray logo. It just says Blu-ray disc in like a plain font. The print, like the print quality of the cover art almost looks like an inkjet printer. That could just be me, but who knows. And there's only one special feature that sucks. I watched it. It's but amazing movie. Definitely get this version if you can, if you have a region-free player, or if you live in an area where region B is the norm. Amazing film. Possibly my favorite Gaspar Noé film, but that's always changing. He's up there with PTA as one of my favorites. He's just so disgustingly talented. It's embarrassing. But yeah, really great film. Check it out. 10 out of 10. Not for the faint of heart. Let's see. The Climb. Haven't seen it yet. I got this for Christmas. I am really looking forward to it. Crazy Samurai 400 vs. 1. I haven't seen this yet. I bought it at Walmart because it seems as though almost the whole movie was shot in one take, which sounds interesting, but then I looked the film up and it got really bad reception. I'm still going to watch it eventually. But yeah, who knows? Dances with Wolves, Kevin Costner. I haven't seen this since I was very young. Definitely due for a rewatch. I haven't seen the extended cut, which is 4 fucking hours long. Yeah, looking forward to it. Love me some Kevy K. The Departed, a really great film by Martin Scorsese. I really need to see the original Korean film that this was based off of. But yeah, really great film. Leo DiCaprio and Matt Damon do a great job, as does Martin Sheen. I love Martin Sheen in this movie. I don't know, he doesn't even play like a super like major role, but I love him in this movie. I don't know why. I love him in this movie more than I do in like most movies, which is strange. I think it's just because he's a crabby old man in this, and I don't know, I can relate to crabby old men on some level. That's a solid 9 out of 10 movie right there. Diary of a Wimpy Kid 1, 2, and 3, the only ones worth talking about. I didn't watch the new animated Diary of a Wimpy Kid because, like, why the fuck would I? Yeah, I love these movies. Dog Days is definitely the worst. Roderick Rules is definitely the best. If you disagree with me, go to hell, you're wrong. Yeah, pretty good kids movies. Dunkirk, Christopher Nolan. I have grown to dislike this movie more and more ever since I saw it. And that is simply because this is not my kind of movie. I typically like movies with plots that move forward. I don't care about the speed at which it moves forward. I just want a plot that moves forward, and I want characters that I can relate to. And this movie intentionally doesn't have that. And as an artistic choice, I mean, given the content, it's an interesting approach for sure. And the non-linear aspect of it is completely, I don't want to say pointless, but just jarring. And I don't really think it needed to be like that. Because it's literally setting up like 3 different timelines at the beginning of the movie, and then they're all like intersecting. But I don't know, I feel like he could have just told the story in chronological order and nothing would have been different. Yeah, this is probably a 5 out of 10 for me, just because, I mean, I also loathe Kenneth Branagh. No particular reason, I just don't like him. He has a very punchable face to me anyway. Yeah, that's Dunkirk, I guess. I know a lot of people love that movie. To be honest, I think Chris Nolan just isn't for me. So much so that I think this might have to go in the sell pile. I'm sorry. Dragon Ball Super Broly. I have not seen Dragon Ball Super, nor have I finished Dragon Ball Z, but I did watch Dragon Ball, and this movie has nothing to do with any of that, and I was really confused. However, the whole second half of this movie is basically just one huge fight scene, which is sick as hell, and it looks sick as hell. So yeah, very interesting movie. If you're a fan of Dragon Ball, you should definitely check it out. I'm not that big of a fan of Dragon Ball, and I still enjoyed it, so Who knows? I'll give that a 6 out of 10. Django Unchained, Steelbook. This is a generic Steelbook. I know that there is like a Best Buy exclusive one or something that came out when the movie was initially released on Blu-ray. I'd love to get that one because it looks super cool. But for the time being, we have this one. Not my favorite Tarantino film. I rewatched it about a year ago for the podcast, and it's still a really good movie. It's just a little long. It's one of those Tarantino movies where you could have cut like 25 minutes out of it and it would not have made any difference. Great performances all around, great writing, apart from Tarantino's typical dialogue, which is just awful for the most part. But yeah, check it out. If you like Westerns, it's a pretty good Western. Edward Scissorhands, Tim Burton. I haven't seen this in a really, really long time. And I don't remember anything about it except for the waterbed scene and the hedge plants. So, oh no, wait, I think I remember a scene wherein like someone's hands were getting cut up by Edward Scissorhands? Maybe? I don't know. I'll watch it again someday. I guess that's why I bought it on Blu-ray. An Elephant Sitting Still, the first and last film by Hu Bo. I really, really loved this movie. Very emotionally draining, given the fact that it is 4 hours long and quite sad. Every character in this movie is just very, very sad all the time. Yeah, based off of a short story written by the writer and director. Insane. There's not even much that I can say about it just because I want you to go into it blind, because that's how I went into it. I didn't even see any trailers or anything. I just went into this movie completely blind, and I really, really loved it. The cinematography is wonderful, the screenplay is wonderful, and the performances, guess what? They're wonderful. Yeah, really, really great film. I really want to check out more Chinese cinema in the future. Enemy, Denis Villeneuve. I loved this movie. I absolutely loved this movie. I don't fully understand it. I don't think, not yet anyway, but I want to, so I guess I will one day. I've seen it twice now. I could easily watch it a third right now if I had time, but we're kind of in the middle of something. So yeah, 10 out of 10 movie right there. Love that shit. God, Denis Villeneuve is just so talented, man. He's just so talented. Enter the Void, Gaspar Noé. Yeah, as I said, my favorite Noé film is constantly ever-changing. This was my favorite movie of all time for quite a while. And it is a phenomenal movie. No doubt about it. Basically, the way that it goes is I guess it's technically like a one-take type film where it's made to look like it's all done in one shot. However, it is from the perspective of someone in the afterlife. So the main character of this movie, who you're literally seeing the movie through the eyes of, dies like 30 minutes in. And the rest of the film is just him sort of floating around for about 2.5 hours. And I love it. It's amazing. It is absolutely great. 10 out of 10 movie. You need to watch this as soon as you can. There is a theatrical cut that I have not seen. I've only ever seen the director's cut. Maybe I ought to seek that one out, because it is about 20 minutes shorter. All right, what do we got here? Oh, baby. Fast and Furious 1 through 9. I don't know, man. I haven't seen this one yet. I only bought it because I was planning on making a video about the whole franchise. Pretty much every video that I actually have an idea for is way too big and is an unrealistic expectation to meet. But it would be pretty fun to make like a 3-hour long video about Fast and Furious. So maybe I'll do it someday. Yeah, I've seen all of these, and so far as I can tell, all but like, I don't know, 3 of them are awful. Fast and the Furious, the first one, pretty damn good. I mean, cheesy, sure. Toxic masculinity, sure, but it is masculine. Oh boy, is it so ever just suffocatingly masculine. And there's something kind of endearing about that. Just pure, blatant male ego on display. There's something kind of endearing about it, and I can't really explain why. Also, the races are pretty cool. And then eventually they just sort of forgot that this was a franchise about racing, and it became all about global political espionage and like terrorism. I don't fucking know. I'm not going to rate them individually, but you know, general opinion. Fiddler on the Roof, probably one of my favorite musicals. I mean, that's not a very long list. I think it's like Rocky Horror, Fiddler on the Roof, Annette, and that's about it. Every other musical that I've seen, I haven't really connected with. But this one, I really did. I watched it in music class in 7th grade. And actually, the first time I saw this movie, it was kind of the worst way in which I could have seen the movie. So basically, all right, let me break this down for you. So, 2nd period, I had music class, all right? 3rd period, I had a vocal music class. And they were both with the same teacher. And both of those classes were watching Fiddler on the Roof at the same time. So the way that I originally saw this movie was I would come in for 2nd period, watch an hour of it, then the class would end and I would just stay there, and then the next class would come in and I would watch that same hour of the movie again. Yeah, I saw this movie split into thirds across 3 days twice. You'd think that would just ruin this movie for me because that sounds absolutely horrible, but I ended up really loving it, and to this day I still really love it. So Fiddler on the Roof, I haven't seen it on stage, I've only seen the movie, but I highly recommend the movie. Maybe one day I'll go and visit my good man Topol. Fight Club, David Fincher. Really good movie. Another one of those movies that is so masculine it's endearing, but this is a movie that's actually like self-aware about it and is actually providing commentary on it rather than just fully giving into it and drowning in it. Yeah, I love this movie, although I guess that's kind of the normie thing to say. But you know what? It's a great movie. I really enjoy it, and I think that the way the narrative is structured is amazing and really engaging nonstop all the way through. So yeah, Fight Club, 9.5 to 10 out of 10 movie. Check it out. Forrest Gump, probably my favorite Robert Zemeckis film. I don't know. I do enjoy that first Back to the Future quite a bit. But this movie's great too. I saw this before I even saw Back to the Future, so maybe that's just my child brain playing. What's the opposite of recency bias? I don't know. Yeah, really good movie. Forrest Gump is just one of the most iconic characters of all time, deservedly so. Yeah, phenomenal movie. I love it. There's just, even where it falls short, I can't hate it just because it is such a warm and cuddly and wholesome movie, except for maybe the last 20 minutes and the Vietnam War part and the part where his mom died. And okay, it's not the most wholesome movie, but like it's really cute. It's really fucking cute, and that's all that matters. The Godfather trilogy. I enjoy these. I do enjoy these for the most part. The third one is such a drastic change from the first two that it is genuinely hilarious to watch. So in that regard, I guess I do like the third one. But in any other regard, it's horrible. So yeah, Godfather 1, wonderful movie. Godfather 2, wonderful movie. Godfather 3, movie. That's about how it goes. And I believe, yes, here we have The Godfather Coda, The Death of Michael Corleone, which is not only the clunkiest title of all time, but it's also a re-edit of The Godfather Part 3 done by Francis Ford Coppola. I haven't seen it yet. I don't even know if it's better or not, because I haven't really read much reception about it. But I'll check it out someday. I was thinking of marathoning the trilogy for the podcast, so I may watch both cuts. Who knows? Godzilla 2014, Gareth Edwards? Is it Gareth Edwards? Yeah, Gareth Edwards. I'm going to sell this. There's no point in me owning that because I'm just never gonna fucking watch it. It was good in theaters, and then it wasn't good after theaters, and I haven't thought about it since. And now that whole monster verse that they were setting up is basically just in the toilet, because I don't know, Skull Island was all right. And then other than that, it's just a bunch of fucking trash. It's just a bunch of trash. So yeah, that new monster verse, whatever the hell they were trying to set up there, don't watch it. It's not worth it. Gone Girl, this movie is worth it. Boy, oh boy, do I love me some Davy Finch. Holy cow, dude. What a talented person. Gone Girl, wonderful movie. Don't spoil yourself. You can be spoiled. Go into this completely blind and just let your mind be fucking blown. I really want to read the novel because I've heard the novel is also really good. Yeah, Ben Affleck gives a performance that I don't hate, which is really surprising. Gone with the Wind. Haven't seen it yet. Really looking forward to it. Good Time, my third favorite movie of all time. Directed by the Safdie brothers. Holy shit, bro. Every single time I watch this movie, it feels like I'm just getting an adrenaline shot into my neck. It is fucking exhilarating as hell. Absolutely mind-blowing in so many aspects. It just burns a hole in your brain and it stays there and it just never leaves. Not a day goes by where I don't think about this movie, and not a day goes by where I don't want to watch this movie again. Just absolutely phenomenal film. Again, don't look up anything about it. You can be spoiled. Go in blind. See, that's just how a movie should be experienced. You need, look at the cover image on Netflix and then watch it, you know? That's all that matters. Goodfellas. What is there to be said about Goodfellas, you know? I mean, nothing, really. Everything that there is to be said has already been said. It's a great movie. Martin Scorsese is a very talented filmmaker and one of the best filmmakers of all time. Ray Liotta does a wonderful job, as does Joe Pesci and Robert De Niro. The characters in this film are iconic and will stand the test of time for decades to come. And it's really pretty to look at. Unforgettable movie. 10 out of 10 on that one. Guardians of the Galaxy Volumes 1 and 2. Haven't seen these in a while. Wouldn't mind revisiting them. But at the same time, I don't know. As I said before, me and Marvel movies aren't really on speaking terms right now. I remember liking Volume 2 more than Volume 1, although I just simply don't know as of now because, I don't know, it's been a while since I've watched them. But I'll check it out. I'll check them out again eventually. I just need to stop being such a sourpuss about corporations making corporate movies. Harold and Kumar Escape from Guantanamo Bay. This is the only Harold and Kumar movie that I own. I should have all three of them, and I don't know why I don't. Oh, that's why. I got this at a secondhand store for $5. Hell yeah. Where did I get this? Second and Charles? I think I got this at Second and Charles, Loveland, Colorado. Great store. Check it out if you're there. Actually, I think it's a chain, so you could check it out in a lot of places. Yeah, not the best Harold and Kumar movie. White Castle will always be the best Harold and Kumar movie. But still really funny. Just absolutely hilarious all around. The Hateful Eight. Quentin Tarantino, once again. I watched this again recently with a couple of friends, and so far as I can tell, they didn't like it. Because, I don't know, I guess they just don't like boring-ass movies, but I do. I love boring-ass movies, so obviously I love this. Yeah, pretty good bottle film. Just wall-to-wall dialogue and tension building with a pretty satisfying payoff. So, yeah, I mean, there's not much for me to hate about this movie, and I do really enjoy westerns. So, there you go. Check it out. Heavy Metal. Batshit insane fucking movie, based off of Heavy Metal magazine. Yeah, very surreal and trippy and sort of out there animation and a killer soundtrack. Check it out. Also, read Heavy Metal magazine. And also, don't watch Heavy Metal 2000. Her, Spike Jonze. I do love me some Spikey J. Oh boy. This isn't my favorite Spike Jonze film. That's probably being John Malkovich. But still a very, very interesting and engaging and well-written movie. Joaquin Phoenix. Boy, oh boy, I sure do love me some Walkie P. That's enough of that. Hot Fuzz. Edgar Wright. I enjoy it. It's pretty funny. The whole Cornell trilogy is pretty funny. I like Shaun of the Dead way more, though. Shaun of the Dead is just absolutely hilarious. Hot Fuzz is still equally hilarious, but I don't know. You know, it just comes down to which one I connect to more, and I like zombie stuff most of the time. So, yeah, Hot Fuzz. Check it out. The House That Jack Built, Lars von Trier. There's a lot to say about Lars von Trier. This movie hates women so hard that it's kind of embarrassing at times. And that being said, it's a very interesting movie. It's very interesting to watch someone disappear into their own asshole, and at the same time make a pretty decent movie while they do it. He's done that once before, or maybe even a few times before. I don't know. I haven't seen very many Von Trier films. He did that once before, and it didn't work. Here, I think it works pretty well, just because the main character seems to talk and act exactly how I imagine Lars von Trier acts. Yeah, just obsessed with explaining its own genius to you, which I reasonably gets on a lot of people's nerves. I don't mind it, at least with this movie, just because the protagonist is so well written, and there's a lot of depth there that is to be found. And honestly, I just think that whole pretentious, dumb, head in ass way of looking at art and way of looking at life ties into the character really well. And maybe Lars von Trier was trying to do that. Maybe he wasn't. I don't know. I mean, if he was providing commentary on his own movies, then, you know, that's great. It's awesome to be introspective. But at the same time, why would you then play a montage of clips from your own movies as the main character is talking about great works of art? That just seems a little head-ass to me. I mean, maybe that's just me. I don't know. But pretty decent movie. Inglourious Basterds. There's a lot of Tarantino in this collection. Jesus fuck. Maybe I just don't have enough in between. Pretty good movie. Good World War II drama. Tarantino. Boy, oh boy, I sure do love me some Quenty P. I don't know. I'm running on fumes here. Decent movie. Check it out if you like Quentin Tarantino. If you don't, because you'll hate it. It Chapter 1. I think I like It Chapter 2 more, simply just because, again, it's really interesting to watch $100 million get set on fire. However, this movie is pretty cool. It's a pretty close adaptation to the novel, and I love the book. I absolutely love the book. And Bill Skarsgård does a pretty good job as Pennywise in this. I remember seeing this in the theater when it came out, what was that, 5 years ago? And being, you know, pretty impressed by what they were able to pull off with it. And then they ruined it 2 years later. Don't you love it when that happens? Jackie Brown, Tarantino, once again, not my favorite Tarantino film. I've only seen it once, so maybe I should check it out again sometime in the future. But just overall, I found it to be quite the slog. I thought it was incredibly boring. And yeah, that's what's prevented me from watching it again. The scene that plays out from like 6 different perspectives, that's pretty cool. Other than that, there's really nothing that I even remember about this movie. So yeah, I'll watch it again someday. And finally, for this stack, we have the James Bond Collection. This is the first 24 Bond movies, only excluding No Time to Die because it wasn't out by the time this box set came around. I bought this after seeing No Time to Die because I had planned on marathoning all 24 of these fucking things and just fully catching up because I had seen No Time to Die and I was really confused. And the movies that I was able to get through, I got through to Diamonds Are Forever, which I believe is the last movie with Sean Connery. So I've seen all of the Sean Connery era Bond films, and I don't know. There weren't. I really enjoyed Goldfinger, and I really enjoyed On Her Majesty's Secret Service, which was not Sean Connery. I don't know. I just don't. I don't think I like the character of James Bond. I just think he's kind of a scumbag, um, and I'm sure that was very much the point. But I still don't fucking like it. Um, yeah, I can appreciate what they did for the film industry, and I can appreciate how long running this franchise is, but at the same time, I don't know. It might just not be for me. Although I'll watch the rest of them and make that decision. And just like that, folks, a simple 44 minutes later, we're like less than halfway done. Next up, we have Judas and the Black Messiah. I still haven't seen this, but I'm really looking forward to it. I'll check it out soon. I believe I watched the first 30 minutes of it on HBO Max, and then my internet went out, and I never finished it. So, yeah, there you go. Kick-Ass. I really like this movie. It is a pretty funny movie. However, it is aged so poorly. I can only take so many gay jokes, you know what I mean? And there's just so many gay jokes. So many gay jokes just completely devoid of self-awareness in any way. But then again, this did come out in like 2009, so I guess it's okay. You're forgiven for making gay jokes if it was in 2009. Yeah, pretty entertaining movie though. Some very interesting action scenes, no doubt. Kill Bill Volume 1 and Kill Bill Volume 2. Volume 1 is by far superior. In my eyes, there is no question. I do not view these as one movie because, well, it's in two cases. So, I mean, is it really one movie if it's in two cases? If they were both in one case, then maybe I could forgive that, but it's in two different cases. So, fuck you. Yeah, I really love Volume 1. Volume 2 kind of falls flat for me towards the midpoint. But, ultimately pretty good movies. Love the steelbooks for those two. Kingsman: The Secret Service. What a weird precursor to a really weird franchise. I don't think anyone was expecting this movie to be as good as it was, or as it ended up being. Because this movie is really good. It is quite the entertaining trip of a movie. Very fascinating action sequences. The way I believe this is the same director as Kick-Ass, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, very interesting action. One of my favorite things that this director does in terms of shooting action is fusing shots together using like visual effects to make it look like one continuous take. It doesn't always work, and it looks kind of janky, but I like that jank. I like it when things look imperfect because it reminds me that I'm watching a movie. I like being reminded that I'm watching a movie. If movies were just like real life, they'd suck. Kingsman: The Secret Service, very, very enjoyable movie. Much unlike Kingsman: The Golden Circle. As I said, really weird franchise. This franchise just took such a strange turn with Kingsman 2. And I still haven't seen The King's Man. But from what I heard, it wasn't very well received. But, I'll watch it someday. Not today, but someday. This movie's weird and it kind of sucks. But at the same time, I love it the same way that I love Cats. Because, again, just watching $100 million burn and go down the toilet, even though it made its money back, and then some, and they're making 5 more Kingsman movies. This movie's just so weird. I never would have expected to walk into a movie theater and see Elton John slow-mo flying ninja kick somebody while turning and winking at the camera. That's just not something, you really think about. Let alone put in a fucking movie. But, yeah, enjoyable. Just not for the same reasons the first film is, in any way, shape, or form. Kong Skull Island. Another one of these MonsterVerse movies, probably the only one that I will continue to own, just because it's not bad. I haven't seen it since it came out in theaters. Maybe that is an indication of the fact that I should sell this. But I don't know. I mean, part of me wants to watch it again at some point, so I'll hold on to it for a little longer. If it's still in the collection by 2023's Blu-ray collection video and I haven't rewatched it, remind me to sell it. Kroll. I haven't seen this movie. It's still in the cellophane, but I got it for $5 at Menards. Of course, this sticker says $10, but that's because there was a $5 sticker on top of it that I peeled off. They really got me on that one. They're like, hey, peel off this sticker so you can look at the whole cover. So then I peel off the sticker, and they just have another fucking sticker on it. Yeah, it looks kind of interesting. I don't know. I'll check it out someday. It looks like one of those wonderful B movies from the 80s. Yeah, I don't know. Kung Fu Panda. What is this called? Ultimate Edition of Awesomeness. I love the first Kung Fu Panda. I don't even think I've seen the other two, but the first one is great. The first time I saw this movie, it was a in-flight movie on the way to Alaska when I was like maybe 4, and I didn't finish it. I fell asleep in the middle of the movie, and then I watched it again like 8 years later, and I really liked it, and I continue to like it to this day. Really inventive action, very impressive animation. DreamWorks really, they care about their animated movies. They're not like Illumination where they just push out a new shit every year and expect people to go see it. And of course, they do go see it just about every single time. I'm not going to get into that, but yeah, there are some really damn good DreamWorks movies out there. You just can't judge DreamWorks entirely on Over the Hedge and Ants. You got to look at the bigger picture. Kung Fu Panda is a great movie, and I'll stand by that. I mean, I don't think anyone's even disputing that, but I'll stand by. Hot take: Kung Fu Panda is a good movie. The Flower. This is an Argentinian film that is 14 hours long, and basically, I would read the back cover to you to explain it to you, but it's in German because Germany is apparently the only country where this got a Blu-ray release. Yeah, I obviously haven't seen the whole thing. It's split into parts. I have seen the first 3.5 hours of it. And that was a little over a year ago because here's the thing. Before I bought this Blu-ray, I had to rent it. And it's split onto 3 discs, so it's split into 3 parts when you go to rent it. And you have to rent each part individually. So I had to spend $5 to watch the first part, and then I didn't want to spend $10 more to watch the second and third part of one movie. So at the beginning of this year, I caved and I spent $40 on the Blu-ray so I could watch it as many times as I want. I'll get to it someday. It's just 14 hours long, so I don't know when. La La Land, a beautiful movie that made me cry like a little baby bitch. Oh man, I am so in love with Ryan Gosling. Boy, do I love me some Ryeg and some MES. Boy, oh boy, and some Damie C. That joke died like 35 minutes ago. La La Land, wonderful movie. You should definitely check it out. Amazing music and cinematography. Logan, haven't seen this in fucking forever. I remember liking it a lot. And I remember liking Logan Noir a lot, which is just the movie in black and white. I do need to watch this again. In fact, I was in the mood to watch this like a month ago, and then I just never watched it. So, yeah. Logan, check it out. You've probably seen it already. Logan Lucky, Steven Soderbergh. This is a hilarious movie, a very slick movie, a very tightly paced and well-structured movie. That honestly is just a whole lot of fun. It is such a wholesome and warm and fun movie about robbing a racetrack, and it was the best night you could have to go and see this in theaters because literally it's just the cutest movie ever made. For many reasons, I mean, Adam Driver, Channing Tatum, I mean, 2 hot dudes.
right off the bat. And then the rest of the movie's good too, I guess. No, great movie. Check it out. The Lorax, not a great movie. I bought this because I was planning on making a video about anti-corporate corporate kids movies, which I guess is why I bought Alvin and the Chipmunks on Blu-ray as well, in a way. Never got around to making that, but I very well may yet. So, stay tuned for that. As for this movie, it's a piece of fucking trash, and I hate it, and I want it to crash and burn. This movie is an abomination against man itself. I think it is a crime against God. I think this is the original sin. This is the root of all evil. It truly, truly is. And so is Zac Efron for being in it. And Taylor Swift, too. Isn't Taylor Swift in this fucking movie? Yeah. Taylor Swift. My favorite actor, Taylor Swift. 1 out of 10. I have not been rating any of these. Holy shit. Who cares? Who gives a shit what I think about these movies? The Lord of the Rings trilogy extended Blu-ray set. I talked about the Lord of the Rings earlier, so I won't talk about it again. But this is a lovely set. This isn't the complete swanky set with the big magnetic flap and the black cases. This is a Canadian import, I think. Yeah, because there's French on the bottom here. And yeah, I've used these dozens of times. I absolutely love The Lord of the Rings, and I will never stop loving them. They are just some of the best movies ever made. Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Mad Max, the original. Haven't seen it fully, all the way through. This is one of those many movies that I started and then fell asleep during. Not because I wasn't liking the movie, just because I have this weird tendency to start movies when I'm fucking exhausted. But yeah, really entertaining movie from the first 20 minutes that I saw. George Miller's pretty cool. Mel Gibson is not anywhere near as cool. In fact, he's kind of an anti-Semite and a piece of shit. But as Max, he's alright. Mad Max Fury Road, way better than the first 20 minutes of Mad Max that I saw. Really, really awesome movie. Amazing action. Just the whole movie is one nonstop car chase sequence. It's the most expensive art house movie ever made. There isn't even anything that I can say about this movie that hasn't already been said. You've probably seen it, and if you haven't, you've probably had 50 to 60 annoying-ass white guys just like me who have told you to watch it. So, yeah, if you haven't seen this movie, check it out. It's pretty good. Magic Mike, as well as Magic Mike XXL. I saw the first one a few years back, and I remember enjoying it. Steven Soderbergh, he's just a very talented director. It ended up being much more of a character drama than I was expecting. I thought this was just going to be like a male stripper movie, but then it turned out to have way more depth. If this movie is everything that Showgirls wished it was, and I haven't seen Magic Mike XXL, but I'm looking forward to it. Magnolia, my favorite Paul Thomas Anderson movie. Holy shit, dude. I cannot suck Magnolia's dick hard enough. This movie's a masterpiece in every definition of the word. I don't like using that word because it sounds really pretentious and dumb. But this movie is a genuine masterpiece, and if you haven't seen it, you are doing yourself a great disservice. You need to check this movie out as soon as you can. It is an absolutely groundbreaking piece of film that I cannot get enough of. I've seen it probably 10 times in the last year. Phenomenal movie. You gotta check it out. You just gotta check it out. You just gotta check it out. Malcolm X, Spike Lee, probably my favorite Spike Lee movie. Granted, I think I've only seen 2. I've seen this and I've seen Da 5 Bloods, and I prefer this over Da 5 Bloods. But I do enjoy both of them, and I want to check out more Spike Lee movies in the future. Yeah, wonderful movie, great character study, great performance from Denzel Washington, and all around really solid movie. The runtime just is not an issue at all. It's 3.5 hours long, and it doesn't even feel half its length, frankly. Just very well paced, very well written, And at the end of the day, it always comes down to Gus Fring just ruining fucking everything. Manchester by the Sea, a really, really brutal movie. This movie tears you open and rips your heart out and just fucking stomps on it. This is the type of movie that you watch if you don't feel like eating for the next 3 days, because it'll just completely gut you. That being said, it's not flawless. Lucas Hedges does a really not good job in this movie, and he's a whiny little bitch more than half the time. Granted, his dad just died, so I guess he does have kind of an excuse to be a whiny little bitch, but that doesn't make him any less annoying. So yeah, Manchester by the Sea, solid 8 out of 10 movie right there. I just wish Lucas Hedges wasn't in it. Mandy, Nicolas Cage, Yorgos Lanthimos. No, not Yorgos Lanthimos. Panos Cosmatos. Sorry, I got them confused. Yorgos Lanthimos did The Lobster and stuff like that. Amazing. Well, maybe not amazing, but definitely interesting movie. This is the movie that Color Out of Space was trying to write off the success of, and it didn't work. That movie was not great. This movie is great and does a lot of stuff right. I mentioned heavy metal earlier back there. This is essentially like a live action heavy metal comic. Just so over the top, pulpy, violent, gratuitous, all over the place. The second that Nick Cage lit a cigarette off of a severed head, I just knew that this is my favorite movie of all time, you know? Yeah, check it out. I have it on VHS somewhere. I don't know where, but yeah, I got a fan-made VHS of it, which was pretty neat. And then I tried to watch it on VHS and it looked like shit. And then I was like, well, yeah, that's expected. Why did I buy this? I don't. and novelty. The Martian Extended Edition. Haven't seen this in forever, and I don't know if I'm ever gonna watch it again, frankly. So I might give this a sell, but gonna sit on it for a while. Interesting movie. The novel was not as good. In fact, I think the novel is quite bad. But the movie did some very interesting things with the source material, and I don't know. At the end of the day, I thought it was a pretty damn entertaining movie, despite the fact that I just hate Matt Damon. Despite the fact that I just really want to beat the shit out of Matt Damon. Pretty enjoyable movie. Mean Girls, a classic, a top to bottom classic. If you haven't seen this movie, I don't know how. You need to check this out. It's hilarious. I saw it when I was 9. I love it. I love it to bits. Mean Girls. Tina Fey is hilarious in that movie. Midsummer theatrical cut. The director's cut is right up there, but I'll talk about that in a little bit. Very fucked up, very surreal, very visceral experience. I watched this with my mom recently, and I don't know what she thought of it. She very well could have hated it, but from the look of shock on her face, I think she liked it. Yeah, wonderful movie. Check it out. Love me some R.E.A. Miracle on 34th Street. I don't even know why I own this, because I don't remember buying it. And I haven't seen it since I was 6. Yeah, it's the original, not the remake. I don't think I've seen the remake. Yeah, I mean, if you want me to say anything else about it, I simply can't, because I just do not remember anything about it. Cute. We'll call it cute. Mission Impossible 5 movie collection. I have only seen the first one and the 6th one, and I don't give a shit about anything in between. But I want to do a podcast about them someday, so I'm going to keep them until I watch them. The first one is pretty neat. It's nothing special. It's actually just a pretty middle-of-the-road 90s action movie. But I don't know. I can get a lot out of that sometimes. You know, sometimes you're just in the mood for something like that. And Mission Impossible scratches that itch whenever you are in the mood. So if you haven't seen the first or the sixth one, check them out. I can't speak for the other four. I've heard a couple of them are good, but I simply wouldn't know. I love the sixth one. Mother, Darren Aronofsky. This is maybe the only Aronofsky film. No, I've seen Black Swan. Right, this and Black Swan. Only two Aronofsky. Is that how you say his name? Very surreal, very interesting experience. Again, another very visceral movie that just sort of likes to hit you in the face a lot repeatedly, which is my favorite kind of movie at the end of the day. But really just not subtle at all in its approach to religious symbolism. So much so that it's almost kind of embarrassing. Yeah, very on the nose. So, I mean, if you have an IQ that is on par or lower than your shoe size, this movie is going to be revolutionary to you. But if it's any higher than that, then you'll get everything there is to get about this movie from one watch. And then after that, it's just about, you know, showing it to your friends and watching them like freak out as people eat a baby. Spoilers. Nashville, Robert Altman. I watched this sometime last year, and oh, dude, oh my god, it's just incredible. It is just fucking incredible. Ugh, I love like naturalist filmmaking, or like hyper realistic filmmaking, if you will. To a degree. It only works in certain cases. And with Nashville, it really works because there's what, like 12 characters, 12 core characters. And the whole movie, this is what, like nearly 3 hours long, is just cross-cutting between 24 characters. Holy shit. It's just cross-cutting between all of them. And everything is shot at very wide, neutral angles. Lots of overlapping dialogue. And it just makes for a fascinating watch that flies by so quick. My only wish with this movie is that it were longer. Yeah, absolutely incredible movie. That my friend is a 10 out of 10 right there. I love Nashville. Awesome movie. The Nice Guys. This movie is comedic dynamite, as Paul Selfin from CBS TV might say. It's true. Really, really funny movie. Ryan Gosling and what the fuck is his name? Russell Crowe have some wonderful chemistry on screen together. And I wish that the Angry Birds movie didn't completely fuck this over, because maybe we would have gotten the sequel that this movie sets up at the end. That would have been great. Shane Black, the world's most hit or miss director in the history of directors. What the fuck is he doing, dude? Did you ever see The Predator from like, what was that, 4 years ago? Garbage movie. The Nice Guys is pretty funny, though. Oh boy. Lars von Trier's Nymphomaniac Extended Director's Cut. Experience Lars von Trier's full vision. Approximately 5.5 hours. Yeah, so I watched this. I didn't like it necessarily. It's been about a year since I watched it, so I might check this out again. Here soon. I remember enjoying Volume 1 quite a bit, and then Volume 2 kind of fell off. But the way that I see it, I was talking earlier about the house that Jack built, and how Lars von Trier just insists on explaining why he's a genius to you, rather than writing a good story with a lot of subtext and leaving it up to the viewers to decipher that. Lars von Trier, I don't know if he just thinks the audience is stupid or what, but the intense need that every character has to explain and rationalize and give metaphors to every single fucking thing that happens in this movie, stretching so far. I mean, it happens in the house that Jack built too, with the light post scene in the house that Jack built. That was fucking ridiculous. With this one, it's fly fishing. What the hell's his name? One of the Skarsgårds compares being a nymphomaniac to fly fishing. And it's like a 6-minute long sequence of Stellan Skarsgård, that's his name, Stellan Skarsgård, just explaining fly fishing. And it's like, what the fuck am I even watching? Why is this movie 5.5 hours long? I know that there's a theatrical cut that I could have watched, but the director's cut was cheaper on Amazon. So, you know, I guess that's my fault for being a bit of a penny pincher. But yeah, I don't know. Actually talking about this movie makes me like it less, because it's actually giving me the opportunity to think about my own thoughts. Yeah, if you really truly just love Lars von Trier, well, you've probably already seen this, but if this sounds interesting to you, check it out. Me personally, it didn't work. It just did not work. Oh, this box set should not be here. The Omen collection from Scream Factory. Haven't seen them yet. Really looking forward to them. I'm going to set this aside so I can put it where it's supposed to be later. Once Upon a Time in America, Sergio Leone. Just one of the best movies ever made. This is the extended cut, which I haven't seen. I have seen the... okay, the terminology with this one gets weird, because there was a theatrical cut that came out in the 80s that was about 2 hours, 40 minutes long. And as far as I can tell, you can't get that version anywhere. And then there is the original cut, which is like 3 hours and 50 minutes, around there. And then this one is like, I think a tad bit under 4.5 hours long. This one I haven't seen. I've seen the 4-hour cut, not the 4.5 hour cut. And I would love to watch this someday. It's just such a huge commitment to sit through this whole movie, because it is a dense fucking movie. It doesn't hold your hand through the plot that it's wading through, and it is a very thick and dense and eventful plot that goes on for a very, very long time, and it's one of the best crime dramas ever made. You absolutely need to see this if you haven't already. Just an absolute masterpiece of everything that movies have ever stood for. It has completely mastered every possible craft. Pineapple Express. Haven't seen this in a long time. Bought the steelbook, never watched it. And, you know, it might be time to say goodbye, honestly. I'm not too sure how I feel about the Pineapple Express. I mean, it could just be because I haven't seen it in so long. I remember it being funny. You know what? We'll hold on to it. I'll watch it again someday. I said that a lot in this video, haven't I? Planet of the Apes Legacy Collection. This is the first 5 original films, including, but not limited to, well, actually, yes, limited to, Planet of the Apes, Beneath the Planet of the Apes, Escape from the Planet of the Apes, Conquest of the Planet of the Apes, and Battle for the Planet of the Apes. Both the 4th and 5th movies are rated G, but they have an unrated cut. Because the 4th one was apparently so fucking violent for 1972. Yeah, 1972, that they just couldn't. The MPAA would not allow them to show it in theaters. It was too violent. And then you go back and watch it like 40 years later, and it's like, not really. It's not terrible. I mean, it is pretty violent, but I don't know. It's more angry than anything. Very interesting movies. Well, 3 out of 5 of these are very interesting movies. The 1st, 3rd, and 4th are very interesting to watch and very interesting to learn the history about. I have spent so much time in the last 2 years reading up on Planet of the Apes lore and history. It's embarrassing. Yeah, pretty good movies. Don't watch the 2nd one. It's not worth your time at all. Neither is this one. Planet of the Apes, Tim Burton. I hate this movie. I just hate this movie. I mean, it does everything wrong. It doesn't get anything right. Actually, that's not true. The prosthetics and makeup on the apes looks pretty good, as it does in the original films. It's very different than the original films. They're going for more of a gritty, sort of Tim Burton-esque vibe for it. I mean, I can only imagine why. And it just falls flat on its face, and it just doesn't work at all. And it's really silly and really dumb and really bad. So, 1 out of 10 movie right here. Fucking hate that shit. Also, one of the most hilarious endings in the history of cinema. You gotta check it out. Don't watch the whole movie, just look up the ending. Power Rangers 2017. I am going to sell that because it's awful. It's really bad. I don't even want to talk about it. I don't even want to fucking... What's this? Primal, starring Nicolas Cage. I don't even remember buying this. What? What is this? What the hell is this? Whatever you want, man. Michael Imperioli? Maybe I have to watch that. Pulp Fiction, Quentin Tarantino. There is nothing left to be said about this movie. Very cool. Very good. Lovely screenplay. I want to see the chronological cut. And that's Pulp Fiction for you. I can't talk about Pulp Fiction at the risk of sounding like every film bro you've ever met. Not like I don't already, but yeah, Pulp Fiction. It's Pulp Fiction. You've seen it. Raging Bull. I actually have this movie on Criterion Laserdisc. If you see just out of frame up there, I have 2 other Criterion Laserdiscs. I'll take those down at the end and talk about them. But yeah, Raging Bull, really great movie. Robert De Niro gives a very, very engaging performance. Really just a movie about toxic masculinity, you know? Very angry men yelling at each other and ruining their own lives and blaming other people for it. It is a tragic yet beautiful rise and fall story of Jake LaMotta. You gotta check it out. It's a great movie. Absolutely lovely to look at too. Reservoir Dogs, Tarantino's first feature. Very interesting. I hadn't seen this until about a year ago, and it's pretty good. The fact that they decided to make a heist movie where you don't see the actual heist because they just didn't have any money, it's an interesting concept, and the idea to show just the fallout of this very bad event, and you learn more context about it as the movie goes on without actually seeing the event. It's very interesting the way that this movie is structured and the way that this movie delivers itself. Yeah, I'll watch it again someday. The Revenant, Alejandro G. Iñárritu, the same director as Birdman. I don't like this as much as Birdman. However, it is still a very, very, very good movie. The cinematography is unparalleled to basically anything I've ever seen before. Just an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous film. Lots of long shots, natural lighting, shooting in real environments. Everyone's fucking miserable. Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. You gotta check it out. Chatantango, filmed by Bela Tarr. Haven't seen it yet because it's 7.5 hours long. However, I bought the Blu-ray, so I guess that means I have to watch it, right? Yeah. I will check it out someday. I'll probably watch it this year. I'm going to stick to that. I'm going to watch Chatantango this year. Hold me to it. Hold me to it. Saturday Night Fever director's cut. So far as I could tell, the director's cut only adds like 1 scene. And that scene is apparently so fucked up that it changes the rating from R to unrated. So, you know, I guess that was just a really fucked up scene. I don't know. I haven't seen the director's cut. I watched the theatrical cut on VHS a while ago. And that's about all I have to say about Saturday Night Fever. The music is great. I love me some BZGBs. Saw 8 film collection. I don't think I've seen every Saw film. I've seen most of it. Well, I haven't seen Jigsaw, but I don't know if that counts. Does that count as a Saw movie? I'm not sure. And then I haven't seen Spiral, but I don't think anybody has. So yeah, I don't know. They're fun. They're goofy. They're gory. Great movies to watch with grandma around holiday time. You know, eating the Christmas ham, eating the Yule log. Just whip out classic Saw movie, and everyone loves it. James Wan. Kind of interesting. Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase, the best film ever made. Well, not like really, but yeah, doesn't hold up really from when I was like 4 years old. It doesn't hold up that well. However, I still love it because I watched it when I was 4 years old, so of course I love it. Really cheap looking animation. This is actually the first Hanna-Barbera Scooby-Doo, or I think just Hanna-Barbera property in general, to be digitally animated. I guess, which is why it has a Blu-ray release. But yeah, if you like Scooby-Doo, check it out. Zombie Island is better. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, again, I talked about it in the 4Ks. The only reason that I haven't sold this yet is because it was the first Blu-ray I ever bought, so I'm holding on to it for sentimental value. Sin City, Robert Rodriguez. Haven't seen it. I have only seen Sin City, A Dame to a Kill. And I don't even know why I've seen it. Like, I wasn't voluntarily watching it. What? How about that? I wasn't voluntarily watching it. It was just kind of like on wherever I was at the time, but I do remember having seen it. So one day I'll watch Sin City. People need to stop adapting Frank Miller's comics because obviously he doesn't want them to. Obviously he doesn't want people to touch his shit. So why do people keep touching his shit? I just don't get it. Southland Tales, Arrow Video release. Yeah, this movie's awful. This movie sucks dick. And it's actually fascinating just how hard it sucks. This comes with an extended cut that is like 15 minutes longer than the theatrical that I haven't seen. But I'll watch it someday when I'm like feeling suicidal or something. I'll throw this on just to distract me for a bit. Really cool that the Fortnite character was so popular, they made Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson a real thing. South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. Hilarious movie. Really good music, surprisingly. This movie's a musical. Really great. Actually, you know what? I gotta revise my musicals list. This is in the top 4 favorite musicals, probably. Yeah, because I only like 4 of them. Yeah, hilarious movie. You gotta check it out. Saddam Hussein in a gay relationship with Satan. Me being like 9 years old and seeing that, it forever changed the way that I saw the world. You know, I was a very impressionable kid. And if you were aware of me or knew me around that time, you would be able to tell. Yeah, funny movie. Spartacus, Stanley Kubrick. Got this for my birthday. Haven't seen it. Extended version with 12 additional minutes from large format, 35mm original film elements. Wow. Yeah, like I've said many times before, I'll watch it someday. I love me a good golden age epic. That being said, it's so hard to actually sit down and watch them because they're so fucking long. Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man Far From Home. I'm going to get rid of both of these because I'm never going to fucking watch them again. The third one is the only one that is even remotely worth rewatching, and even then, in very mild terms. I'm talking like 30 quotation marks. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. I'm so fucking over Spider-Man. It's not even funny. The SpongeBob SquarePants movie. Not over this shit. I could eat this shit up day in and day out. Oh my god, gotta be one of the best TV show movies of all time. Like, without a doubt. This and Beavis and Butthead Do America just kick ass, man. They just kick ass. Also, I think Beavis and Butthead Do America has a Blu-ray release now, so I need to pick that up, like, soon. But this movie is hilarious. So much talent and effort on display. that is just so unparalleled to any other kids movie, because I guess with kids movies, that's just where everyone decided that they don't have to try. You know, you don't have to try with the kids movie. They're dumb kids. It doesn't. But now, since they tried on this movie, I'm no longer a kid in some ways, and I still love it, and I still appreciate it, and I can still find new things that I didn't find before in rewatches. Just because Steven Hillenburg and his team were such passionate and creative people, and they cared so much about SpongeBob, that they just wanted to make the best movie possible. And they did. They honestly did. Amazing. Amazing movie. Check it out. Stephen King's The Stand. This is the mini-series from the 90s, 80s or 90s. I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched the first part, of which I believe there are 4. It was okay. I think I stopped watching it simply because I wanted to read the book first, and then I never read the book. So, yeah, The Stand. The first quarter of it, it was a typical Stephen King miniseries. I'll tell you that much. Let's see, J.J. Abrams' Star Trek. We got some Kelvin timeline up in this bitch. I bought this because it was cheap and I hadn't seen it. Still haven't seen it. Don't know when I'm gonna watch it. I don't care for J.J. Abrams, really. It's not my cup of tea. Yeah, love me some Star Trek though. Oh boy, here we go. We have Star Wars: The Original Trilogy, an official release. So that way I have an excuse to own the Despecialized Trilogy. The Despecialized Trilogy is awesome. It's doing its best to preserve history by destroying history. You know what I mean? And that's pretty cool. I'm not going to go into the whole history of the Despecialized editions. If you want, there is a 20-minute documentary on YouTube talking about them. Very interesting what they did. They effectively just took any available copy of Star Wars that they could over the years, because George Lucas obviously, and quite controversially, has made many shitty special editions of the original trilogy, adding unnecessary CG and quite ugly CG where there shouldn't have been, and then absolutely vehemently refuses to release the original cuts. They effectively just took as many Star Wars resources as they can to make a fan-edited version of the original trilogy that is as close to the original versions as you can get in HD as it stands. I don't know if those are ever going to be officially released. I mean, with the rise in popularity of the Despecialized editions, I simply don't know. But it would be interesting if they were. And now that I've seen the Despecialized trilogy, it really is the only way that you can watch them. The special editions just, they bring so much of bad Star Wars into good Star Wars. You know, they sort of bridge the gap between all the bad Star Wars and the good Star Wars. And it doesn't work for me. Suicide Squad. Super Troopers. This movie is funny. It's funny. I haven't seen Super Troopers 2. I don't know if I'm ever going to, because frankly, this movie didn't woo me enough to ever even want a sequel. But yeah, pretty funny movie. Check it out. Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street. Okay, so I guess that makes 5. There are 5 musicals that I like. Yeah, really great movie. Tim Burton. This is probably the last great Tim Burton film. Everything since then that he's released, I just haven't really dug all that much. Yeah, just not wonderful. Not wonderful. But this movie is great. The music is awesome. The performances are awesome. I love the look of it. Yeah, everything about it is just so neat. And that's really the word of the day here, is neat. Synecdoche, New York, one of my favorite movies. Charlie Kaufman writing and directing. I have a poster of it right there. Isn't that interesting? Damn, bro, this movie is revolutionary. This movie blew my mind, and blew the minds of many other people, which I guess is why it's held in such high regard. Fun fact, I've been catching up on The Walking Dead recently, and one of the actors in this movie, the woman who plays Hazel, plays a very like fucked up and scary character in The Walking Dead. And since this was the first thing that I had seen Samantha Morton in, it has forever warped my perception, just because this movie is stuck in my brain so hard since I've seen it that I find it hard to make a distinction between the actors and the characters. Which I guess is a positive for the movie, because this is just absolute total immersion into a story. And there's so much to pick apart. There is not a single line of dialogue that is wasted. Every single thing that you can see or hear in the frame means something, and that is fascinating. Charlie Kaufman is a goddamn genius. I'm going to say it right here, right now. He's a goddamn genius. I love that man. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original, very good movie, actually. This movie holds the fuck up. I really enjoy it. Quite scary, actually. It continues to be quite scary. It was shot for a very low budget and made in the 70s, so put those two elements together, it quite literally looks like a snuff film at times. There's like real bones and like real dead animals being used in the movie, and it's bizarre, but it just adds to the overall excruciating terror of it. And you know, what more do you want out of a movie than excruciating terror? Titanic, pretty good. I mean, I don't know. I think it may get a little too much credit, but at the same time, it does deserve a lot of credit, because it's a pretty fascinating movie that did a lot for the film industry and brought in a whole wave of like epic blockbuster. It was like a revival of the epic in the 90s, which is kind of strange. And then that sort of culminated with like Lord of the Rings. Yeah, very fascinating how these things work. If Titanic wasn't made, I don't think the Lord of the Rings could have been made, which is interesting to think about. Starting to lose my voice here, dude. God damn. There Will Be Blood, my second favorite Paul Thomas Anderson movie. I haven't seen Punch Drunk Love. I really want to see Punch Drunk Love. I don't know why I haven't yet. I should probably watch that. I also really want to see Licorice Pizza, but I just can't right now because I live in a really shitty small town with a really shitty movie theater that can't afford to play movies other than like the big blockbusters. So, you know, anything that wasn't made by the four big studios, I effectively can't see without driving upwards of 2 hours to a different city to see it. But getting back on track, There Will Be Blood is a phenomenal movie. Daniel Day-Lewis gives one of the most memorable performances I have ever seen, playing possibly one of the most iconic characters I have ever seen, in a fascinating Western saga of greed and deception and mustaches, you know. Awesome movie. You really ought to check it out. 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, still in the cellophane. I bought this like 4 years ago, and it's still in the cellophane. Good movie. I've seen it. I just didn't watch it on Blu-ray. I guess I'll watch it again someday. Maybe. I don't know if I ever fucking take the wrapper off. The Twilight Saga. Wow. I was going to make a video about these. Because of fucking course I was. Yeah, they're bad, but I don't need to tell you that. You know that already. Everyone knows that already. There's no point in debating whether or not they're bad. They're fucking bad. If you want my true opinion on them, the first 4 are terrible, and then the last one is pretty funny. I think the last one is really funny. I saw it in theaters when I was like 8 or 9, and I thought it was really good when I saw it then. But now I guess 10 years later, it doesn't hold up very much or very well. Yeah, the people who like these movies have already seen them 30 times, and the people who don't like them have also seen them 30 times. That's just how it be. Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets. This is going in the sell pile. I don't even want to fucking talk about that shit. Watchmen director's cut, the best cut of the movie. The theatrical cut doesn't have enough, and the ultimate edition has too much. Again, why do you keep adapting Frank Miller's graphics novels, dude? He doesn't want you to. He denounces every adaptation of his work. V for Vendetta, Watchmen, Sin City. He is like denounced and taken his name off of all of them. Because I guess he just really doesn't want people to make movies out of his work. This was not bad though. I enjoyed Watchmen for the most part. It falls victim to much of the typical Snyderisms that you might find in his movies. A lot of music-based montages that don't really go anywhere or have any purpose. Zack Snyder just loves putting footage to music, which I can understand. However, very rarely do these montages have any intent or purpose or way of driving the story forward. Most of the time, they're just montages. And as good as a montage can be, I can only take so many of them before I start to say, like, hey, what the fuck is this movie even about? That definitely happens in Watchmen. The Wizard of Oz in 3D. I haven't seen it in 3D, and I won't see it in 3D because I don't have a 3D TV. That's about it. It's The Wizard of Oz. You've seen it 15 times because your grandma loves it. The Wolf of Wall Street. This got a 4K release, so I should probably look at replacing this. But very entertaining movie. Another just so angrily masculine movie that actually provides commentary on that, much like Raging Bull or Fight Club, other movies that I've mentioned. Yeah, very interesting movie. Martin Scorsese is really good at these rise and fall type stories. And what's very interesting is comparing this to Goodfellas, because he essentially made the same movie twice and got away with it. But it works. It just works. It just works. Yeah, really enjoy this movie. I'll probably watch it again. Woodstock, 3 Days of Peace and Music, the director's cut. I have not seen this. Got this at a secondhand store for pretty cheap. Thought it looked interesting, so I went ahead and picked it up, but it's 4 hours long, so I'm not quite up to sitting through it yet. Very interesting, though. Zero Dark 30, a good movie, kind of a American movie, very American movie, but pretty engaging. It tells the story of these true events in a very engaging way. I haven't seen it in a very long time, so if my thoughts on it don't sound that articulated, it's because they aren't. But I would be willing to watch it again. I guess that's why I bought it. Yeah, pretty good movie. Zodiac, another wonderful David Fincher film. This one might actually be my favorite Fincher film. I was blown away the first time I saw this movie, and the second time I saw this movie, so I think I need to watch it a third time to see if I get blown away again. I think I will. This movie is awesome. If you haven't seen it, go watch it this instant. It's incredible. The runtime is worth it. I guarantee you the runtime is worth it. It may seem like a lot, but it just absolutely fucking flies by. One of the most interesting and well put together police procedurals I have ever seen. And I haven't seen many, but it's still a good movie. Just because I don't know a lot about other movies doesn't mean I can't know a lot about this movie, you know? And finally, for the last of the Blu-rays here, we have Zola. Haven't seen it yet. Really looking forward to it. There's all the Blu-rays, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I'm not missing any. God damn. Okay, we got a few novelty items to go through, and then after that, we'll be done.
Starting off on this first shelf here, we have Season 1 of Stranger Things on Blu-ray. Lovely Target gift set made to look like a VHS. Pretty cool. Didn't get Season 2 because I didn't like it. Should probably upgrade this to 4K at some point. Up here, we have Monty Python and the Holy Grail on Laserdisc. Absolutely gorgeous. As well as the Seventh Seal on Laserdisc. I just buy Laserdiscs because they look cool on the wall. They're huge. They're beautiful. Each cover is like a work of art. It's great. Over here we have yet another copy of The Lord of the Rings, the DVD extended edition. We have this little Dragon Ball lamp, which is, oh, ain't that just adorable? We have a lot of pop vinyls from back when I was into pop vinyls, including lovely Charlie Kelly here. And right behind Charlie Kelly, we have One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest with good old Jack Nicholson. Pretty damn good movie, if I do say so myself. Right over here, we have Midsummer Director's Cut, the wonderful 4K gift set from A24. Absolutely gorgeous. I love this thing. The director's cut is far superior to the theatrical cut. However, they're both great. Here we have all of my VHS tapes. These are double stacked because every time I go to my hometown once or twice a year, I always hit up all the thrift stores and buy as many cheap-ass tapes as I can. And I've got quite a few. And the great thing about VHS tapes is that it's not hard to find a few banger movies on VHS for really cheap. This right here, this is my most prized possession. I'd go so far as to say this is Back to the Future on VHS, still sealed. Got it for like $2 at an ARC. Damn good deal on that one. Here we have some more Planet of the Apes shit. We have the entire original series on VHS. We got the TV series from 1974 on DVD right here. I haven't seen this yet. I'm looking forward to it. As well as Return to the Planet of the Apes, the animated series. Haven't seen that either, but again, really looking forward to it. And Behind the Planet of the Apes, which was a made-for-TV documentary hosted by Roddy McDowall. Really interesting, actually. Well, for someone like me who's like a fucking nerd, but, you know, pretty cool. And then we have the 2001 Planet of the Apes. Someone might have paid $8.48 for this back in the day. Wow. Isn't that embarrassing? And finally, right behind this $2 bill, we have the 4K gift set of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, my favorite Tarantino film of them all. It's an absolute banger. Wonderful film. You got to check it out. Not going to say anything about it except for the fact that there's a lot of feet, and I love that.
And that just about does it. There we have every single movie in my collection. There's some DVDs over there, but I haven't touched them in years, and I'm probably just going to throw them away, so there's no real point in talking about those. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Let's hope that 2022 is a year of many videos that come out on schedule and not a month and a half late. I'm sorry about that one. I'm actually sorry about that one. That was just a complete oversight. It was the type of thing where, like, I filmed the first half of this video like 3 days before New Year's. As we're sitting here now, it is February 13th. This will probably go up tomorrow or the day after, depending on how fast I can cut this all together. But yeah, there you go. Hopefully next year's Blu-ray collection video will come out in like the first week of January, like it's supposed to. And yeah, we're going to be getting back into the groove of video essays and stuff here on the channel soon. Just it was just laziness. That's all it was. That's all it was. Thank you all for watching. I will see you all in the next video.